Many people have left Christian churches. And really, when you think about the situation, it's not surprising. I mean, consider the amount of scandals that have happened, the sex scandals and the financial scandals. And then there are those churches and preachers who have really been prejudicial in the things that they've said and talked against women's rights and been anti-LGBT and have been anti-immigrant and anti-Jewish, anti-Muslim, anti-just about everything. So no wonder people want to leave. And while there are other churches that are more progressive and try to be relevant, many people find that Christian churches today are pretty much irrelevant. They just don't have anything to do with their life. And I understand that. And it's in that context that I want to ask the question, is the message of Jesus still relevant today? And as I talk about that question and explore it a little bit, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel as well as to click the bell so you're notified of future videos. So my focus in talking about this is really the four narratives that we have that convey the primary story of Jesus. And those are the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All four of those narratives, those sets of stories, are different from each other, but they have some things in common. Part of how they're different is that they were written each to a different audience. For instance, Matthew's Gospel was written to practicing religious Jews, whereas Luke's Gospel was written to Gentiles who spoke Greek. So they came from different belief systems and different cultural backgrounds, and that's true for each of the four Gospels. But what was in common about them was that no matter how different the people's background were, they were all being ruled by the Roman Empire, a tyrannical government that was very oppressive. And the economic situation for all of the people was that the vast majority of people were extremely poor, living on the edge, and there were a few very rich people in society. 98% of people didn't read or write. That's part of the reality of those cultures. So it's in that context that these stories were brought together. And what we find in those stories is remarkably similar in that, while they were written for different audiences, they convey a central message from Jesus. And that message is that, above all else, the way we live matters. That Jesus taught in very practical ways that we're to care for each other, to love each other, to be kind to each other. That when we see someone in pain or suffering, we're to do something about it. Maybe we can't solve it, but we need to respond. We can't ignore it. Jesus calls us to do something different, to engage in life. That's the primary aim of his message. He conveys that message in a lot of stories and a lot of examples. And those stories were things that people could relate to in their day. There are stories of a woman baking bread, a man who has two ungrateful sons. There's stories of shepherds and their sheep and stories of travelers. And people understood the stories. And they would have gotten the message that caring for each other is important. Jesus didn't talk about theology, but he did ask people to accept one thing as a matter of faith. And that one thing he asked people to accept was that the realm of God, or as it's often translated in the Bible in English, the kingdom of God, is found within you and me and in our world around us. He asked us to believe that God's realm, God's presence was in us and around us, that it was right here, and that by taking care of people, by being loving and kind and helping and supporting people who were hurt in this life, that we are bringing the realm of God into being here and now. Yeah, he talked a little bit about a life in the future, but most everything that he said was about right now. I think that 2,000 years of theology and philosophizing have taken us far away from this original teaching of Jesus. And I think that that's because this original teaching of Jesus, what Jesus actually taught, is so difficult for people. We'd rather live with our prejudices than uproot them and really think about our responsibilities to others. And so we've gotten caught up in all kinds of petty things. And we focused more on people's little sins and their sexual practices than we have about what it really means to do good in the world. Womanist theologian Dolores Williams wrote very eloquently and simply about this centrality of what Jesus taught. And what she said is very uncomfortable for many Christians today. She was very clear in her writing that Jesus did not die to eradicate sin. Jesus didn't die to overcome sin. Jesus didn't die because of sin. Instead, Jesus lived to overcome sin. That it was the way Jesus lived day to day and the way he taught his followers to live that was the remedy for sin. And one of the things she points to are the set of stories about Jesus in the wilderness being tempted. He went for many days and fasted. And while he was fasting in the wilderness, he was tempted to use power, privilege, to control things, to put his ego in the center. And every time he had that temptation, he said no. And he left that experience, and what he immediately did was say, I am here. The Spirit of God is upon me because I've been anointed to bring good news to the poor, to release to captives, to announce a time of favor. Jesus saw his mission and taught us that our mission is to be a presence of good in the world. Does Jesus' teaching matter today? Can it make a difference? Is it relevant? I think it's extremely important today. We're living in a time when we are so divided, one against another, where there is such hatred and prejudice, right against left, rich against poor, on so many levels. And the teachings of Jesus call us to remind ourselves that we are responsible for each other. No matter the differences, we are called to be caring people, for people in need, for people who are hurt, for people who experience alienation and oppression and loneliness and sickness and so many things in life. The teachings of Jesus call us to respond and do what we can to make the world a better place. And in that way, I think the teachings of Jesus are very relevant today. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Share your thoughts in the comments, like the video, share the video with others, and know that I really appreciate the time you spend with the videos on Spirituality Beyond Borders. Thank you, and have a really great day.